You're listening to the Reachcast Show, your weekly stop for the latest and greatest in the Planetside 2 universe and its community.
What's up, everybody? This is Torx. You're listening to Reachcast. It is April 7th, and it is episode 80. With me tonight is Derringer. We have no Tom / Knox because he's out banging hookers.
I don't think that he's banging hookers, but he is not with us this evening.
Same thing. Brought to you this week by Briggs Server Support Group, and also great listeners like you. We support the show tab on reachcastshow.com. That's the intro. And here, the patch notes.
I'm going to get these mosquitoes in the air and rain down some hellfires on those fools. Oh no! What the f***? I should have listened to the Reachcast patch notes.
All right, let's start first with the April 2nd patch. And I think the biggest news with this patch is they introduced the 64-bit client, and there was much rejoicing until it crashed everyone's computers and they had to take down the 64-bit client. I don't think they've brought that back up. Am I right?
Yeah, they just rolled it back. Hasn't been brought back yet. It was a chunk of the user base. Someone would say that almost a fourth of the people were having that issue, or roundabouts. I mean, that's really a poor guess, but I know there was a number. Yeah, there was a number of people that were having issues, and I think it got rolled back before you saw more of the player base react to it. But yeah, I mean, it was no bueno.
You know, honestly, I'm still having issues from this patch. The game is just not playing the same as it was prior to the patch coming out. I mean, my ping is through the roof at times. I get a lot of rubber banding at times, hit detection issues at times. I wasn't having any of that prior to the patch, so I don't know what they added in this patch.
At least you're not on Briggs.
This is true. I'm not on Briggs, but I mean, I played a bit on Matherson last night, and it wasn't just me. Everybody I was playing with, half the people quit playing in the middle of the op because they were like, you know, nothing's working. Well, I'm exaggerating. Things were working, but hit detection was off. Med kits weren't working, which is a pain in the ass. You haven't come across that one? Yeah, med kits don't work.
No, I haven't really been doing much.
So you try and pop your med kit, they don't work at all. So some people burn like 3 or 4 of them trying to get them to work. You've got to actually use the, what's the other one? The restoration one? The restoration one actually works, whereas the actual other one does not. And even my medic tool wasn't rezzing people at least half the time. I'd have to sit there and hold the damn thing down on them and be like, please work this time. You know, because normally you just run in with the med tool and you hit them, and when it gets to the end, you let go and start running away. Yeah, well, it wasn't working.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I know hit detection's been down the pooper lately, but I don't know. I really haven't messed around with much else, so it's not in a good state of things, and I think that actually plays into one of the articles we have later. The community.
And in addition, I mean, 64-bit client rolls out, but hey, the big news, new items added to the depot, you know, non-player studio camos available, woohoo. More player studio items have been added to the release schedule, so more helmets, more decals, more camos. I mean, yeah, the game is shit right now, but we can still pump out a whole bunch of new stuff for you to buy, right?
Dude, I don't care if this game went down for 2 months if they put ReachCat in, but they haven't even done that, so they can go to hell. This game's a horrible spot.
Well, I'm a little jaded. Personally, I don't care about camos and stuff like that if the game is running like crap. I mean,
yeah, personally, I would like the game to run over, but I mean, it's always different departments working on stuff, right?
Oh, of course.
Out something, just, who knows whose fault of what. Hey, Tom showed up. That's all he had to say.
Is that him with the hooker? I mean,
that's him with the hooker.
That's awful.
I didn't start that one. That was you. When he comes back next week, I'm not taking credit for the that is him though. And it's done. It's $200 down the tube for Tom. All right.
So, and you're right. It is separate departments. T-Ray and his folks are in charge of, putting the art assets into the game. I don't think that they have as much or any, bearing on hit detection and stuff like that. So, I guess we can't really fault them too much for continuing to monetize, even though there's some issues with the game. So I think we'll just leave it at that, right?
Yeah, I think it's enough.
All right, next up, mission adjustments and fixes. So there's some changes to the defend mission. So they're temporarily no longer using enemy population as the condition to trigger or end the defense mission. This was causing defend missions to not end properly, bogus missions, etc., etc. It should reduce the total number of missions available, and that should make it more stable and have a more predictable mission behavior. Also, they changed the delay when crossing region borders. Aircraft are now up to 30 seconds from 20. Ground vehicles are up to 18 from 10, and infantry are up to 10 seconds from 8. I know we talked about this one last week with the guy in the Mag Rider crossing the border and having so many missions pop up for him without even knowing it.
Yeah. Having 3 concurrent missions running, depending on which inch you move with your Mag Rider, might be a problem. But yeah.
And finally, with the mission adjustment, the voiceover is now played when a point is captured or lost at the mission's facility. Now, I know there were lots of complaints regarding the voiceover just kind of spamming people nonstop when they were capturing. What the heck were people complaining about?
Well, I mean,
the control point.
Yeah, as it trades hands at all, it gets to be extremely annoying. So what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm kind of waiting for the next phase of missions. I mean, they haven't really. They stated that they're putting it all into the game, but I'm kind of interested on when the next iteration of missions is going to come out. I want to get to the point where your squad leader or your platoon leader is assigning missions, and I really want to see how that works in the game. So I kind of wish they'd, iron out these bugs and issues a little bit quicker and get to the next phase of missions. Yeah, the enemy has taken a control point.
I think user-generated missions will be a step up. I think the current step is good to get the idea implemented, but needs to be fleshed out.
One mission I do hope they put in and they haven't talked about is to kill a specific enemy player.
Pick out one guy in the entire continent, hunt our entire other 2 factions, hunt down one dude.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
How awesome would that be? Put a bounty on someone's head?
Yeah, like Protect the President and Paintball, where you have, entire faction trying to defend one guy from dying. All it would be is like 20 liberators flying in. Well, I guess if it was inside a base, it wouldn't be a problem, but biolab or something. That'd be crazy.
That's a freebie for you, SOE, if you're listening.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but that'd be interesting to at least see in practice. So, some miscellaneous changes that came in the patch. Instant action drop pods not be limited to areas around bases on Endar and Esamir. This change was already made on Amrish, so congratulations, everybody. The Reaver now looks better generally than both the other ESFs. That's in miscellaneous, apparently. Update to Reaver texture, empire color, and camo patterns. You're amazing if you're in a Reaver. Bug fixes.
You look fabulous.
Fabulous. Reaver fins now display more empire color, small coverage. I mean, T-Ray was busy this week. Anyways, that's good enough. Community briefing.
Attention, soldiers! Get your butts in here for this week's community briefing. Yes!
Yeah, this keeps going. Sees this calling in between hookers. This is number 2. All right,
is he that wealthy that he's just getting them by the dozen or something?
Yeah, gross. If you buy them by a pack, it's actually cheaper. I think it's like half dozen.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know. It's what I hear from him. That's what he tells me. SOE Live tickets are now on sale, guys. So August 14th through 17th is SOE Live this year. I think they have an early registration discount, and I put in quotes with my fingers around that. It's like $129 for your tickets now. So we'll be there this year, right? I think it's the plan. At least I know I will be.
I can only hope.
Yeah.
Knox and I forgot to send the email to the community council lady until
nice.
just now. So I hope we sneak in under the community council plan.
Hope you're right.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe
Guess we'll
you'll
see.
be the only one at SOE Live this year.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Jeez. All right. Well.
Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll hear about that tomorrow.
Jeez. Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah, apparently there were only a smattering of available tickets for community council people, so we'll see. All right, enough about SOE Live. It's still, how many months away?
It's a number of
May,
months.
June, July, August, 4 months away.
Like 4 months
plus
away.
April, 5 months away. So, well, I'm sure we'll talk about SOE Live 100 more times between here and then. All right, next up, we zeroed in on a little ditty on the Reddit forums. One of the members, and now I want to see what his name was. This was by Magnificent. He's actually a member of TXR. He wanted to know the community's favorite features since beta. And this was something that I thought was actually interesting because a lot of people bitch and moan about this game, and all they do is complain. Didn't he mention Buzzcut Psycho or something, saying, how come everybody turned into Buzzcut Psycho with this game?
Yeah,
Stop complaining. What are some of your favorite things that have been added to the game since beta? And actually, the community really took off with this, and it was a very productive post with people really saying the things that they liked in the game, and it really did not devolve into, shit talking. So a lot of good love, and some of the examples that people came up with, and I just listed these by the hotness via Reddit. Number one was VR training, which kind of shocked me.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people are very happy with VR training. Even with its flaws, they find a lot of uses for it. Next up was the ability to spawn in galaxies and sunderers, and I know that's the new hotness, so I'm not surprised that that was on the list. Next up, maxes appearing on your minimap, which sounds stupid, but that one was thumbed up by a ton of people because they get a little different image on your minimap. I'd never even realized that they didn't used to.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time, right? So
Yeah, so I just completely forgot that they didn't used to show up like that. So, I mean, you can really see a max crash happening on your minimap now.
big bunch of weird-ass triangles charging you. Yeah,
exactly. Next up, Stalker Cloak. Next up, Lattice. Some people enjoyed the death screen. And finally, rounding out the top, 7 I've got here, submachine guns. There were no submachine guns in beta. That was a pretty new addition to the game. And I mean, really, with submachine guns, that's the SMG infiltrator's favorite weapon.
I was about to say, what would CQC infiltrators do without SMGs?
Did anyone play a CQC infiltrator in beta?
Shotguns.
Oh, that's right, because they had shotguns, but they took that away.
Yeah, I
So
mean, they had
those-
to. It was ridiculous, but
Those never came. They never really manifested themselves in live. So I mean, SMGs is the way to go, huh?
oh yeah, absolutely. My
So
favorite
again, it was a good post, and I think the best part about the post is that
is
didn't-
productive.
Yeah, it didn't. Everybody enjoyed giving their responses, and no one really shit on anybody else's comments. There was always somebody to echo what someone had written. So, and you kind of wonder why the people over at SOE read Reddit over everything else,
Yeah,
or post on Reddit over everything else.
I'm picturing like a community manager walking into their forums. Like if you try to represent the two rooms, you walk into like a biker bar and they get punched in the face and then like the throat, and then they walk into Reddit.
That's the
it's
PS2
like,
forums, yeah.
Yeah, that's the PS2 like official forums, and then they walk into like the Reddit bar, and it's
they're-
like a mix.
And a drink is put in their hand the second they walk in.
Yeah, it's like hello, welcome, and then you have a bunch of people that come up behind them to start stabbing them right after that because that's Reddit. I mean, it's mix. It's a mixed lot. So at least you don't get punched in the throat immediately like the PS2 forums.
True. Well, we hope not.
It's a horrible analogy, I'm sure. I'm sure Maggie's gonna be like, "What?"
All right. Next up, we're going to talk about a pretty little video that Vanu Labs posted on YouTube. And this was showing a Mountain Dew sponsored base on Hassan. He flew over to, I don't even know what base it was. I didn't check. But you get to it, and it's one of the tower bases. The top of the tower, rather than having the Empire logo of who captured it, it's the Mountain Dew green with the huge Mountain Dew logo on it. I can see it now.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine how many other sponsorships they could have? Coca-Cola would be all over this. Pepsi would be all over it.
Doritos.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper. Taco Bell. Oh, I would love to defend a Taco Bell base.
Oh, I'd be all about defending Taco Bell. And, like, if you get it, you get, like, free taco.
Subway, Subway, yeah. McDonald's. I mean...
Eat fresh lead.
That's awful.
Right. I know.
I can't believe I'm laughing at you.
That's the best I could do. I'm sorry. I was thinking of like good puns, and that was the worst.
Eat fresh lead. I mean, what else could there be?
No, you did. You got to throw the pause in there. It's eat fresh lead.
In-N-Out Burger. That's Tom's favorite.
In-N-Out Vanu Lasher. I don't know.
When we go to SOE Live, we'll have to do In-N-Out Burger again.
Oh, so it was good.
Yeah.
I remember they walked the thing, and Tom's like. Saw Tom's shirt. He's like, "You play Planetside? When's it gonna come out? When's it gonna come out on PS4?" That was like a year ago, so 8 months ago. It still hasn't out on PS4 yet.
That poor guy behind the counter probably still has his PS4.
One day I'll play on PS4 with all my PS4 friends, if it survives that long.
Ock in the channel says that the Chihuahua will have the Taco Bell voice of the base.
Absolutely,
that's the voiceover.
You will not win this fight. All right. Yeah, so if it was in PS1 that they did this kind of stuff, so I honestly don't care. We were talking about this when we were at the bar. Tom and I were at the bar with Louis this week when he came by. And if we can purchase a base advertisement, then we can force Reach Cat in the game. And Reach Cat would walk around the top of the base pooping out little T-rays. And it'd be amazing. Be the best base advertisement ever.
Yeah, how come I didn't get invited to this outing with Louis?
It's because you live in Boston. They'll like fly you over here for a bar visit for a night. I'm sorry. And yes, burger was amazing. We were there. One of the best burgers I've ever had.
I will eat there again.
I will also eat there again. Anyways, okay, next off. Higby talks about Briggs. I guess apparently internally they're working with a server engineer and a network engineer to devise a solution for Briggs. They're trying to make movement on this so that you guys continue so some of the login problems stop happening. He talked about it. We'll put a link in the show notes for those of you that play on Briggs. Our heart goes out to you. That's about it.
I don't know what to say about the Briggs issues. I know we have
Sounds like it's a living hell to try to play on that server. But
I know we have a lot of listeners who play on the Briggs server too, and yeah, we feel for you guys.
Absolutely.
I can't even imagine.
Yes. I was uncalled for it. Tom.
I can't even imagine just having the issues that they were having, and especially when they throw a fix out there for it, and then the side effects of that fix means that your character's progress doesn't save. I mean,
that might be a problem. Yeah.
I mean, what does that really tell you?
It tells me that somebody needs to hire a lot more QA people.
Well, let's be honest. There's a lot of stuff that's on test that's making it to live. What's the reason for that?
It depends on the amount of time between the time it goes to, and there needs to be more people that go into PTR. Is that what you're trying to get at?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, because it seems that there's been a push by SOE to get more content out faster.
Well, didn't Radar just come on this, Radar X, get on this last week and say, what can we do to get you guys to play on PTR? Like he put out a post about it on the forums and then Twitter, stuff like that, to ask what what they can do to incentivize us to get on PTR. But so they're making an effort in that direction. My retort to a certain extent is, if you're going to do that, then you need to give it soak time in PTR. You can't just put it out and 2 days later drop it out. I know they're, as a company, driven to release on a weekly schedule now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that forcing or pushing yourselves to release on a weekly schedule may not be the proper avenue, because it seems that once they made the change to that, it's been nothing but issues on live. Now, maybe I'm not realizing that there were probably just as many issues even when they were testing things, and there was a slower release schedule, but it seems like stuff hits PTS, and then 3 days later it's already on live, and people are submitting bug reports while it's on PTS. But it doesn't seem like those are happening. I don't know.
I mean, so if you release more content, you're gonna get more bugs with the content, especially if you don't have a drastic uptake in QA testers or your QA. And I don't know how their company works as far as that stuff goes, but if you're going to release stuff and you're going to push yourself to from my understanding, they do the same thing we do at my work, because they use Agile, but Agile can be used in a very bastardized way as far as project management, and it just depends on how true they are to Agile and but it seems like there's a lot of bugs with the stuff they release, and that's probably a lot to do with the fact that they're trying to release stuff so fast and they're not able to test it. We as a gaming community can be the testers, but there's two problems with that. One, you have to incentivize people to play on PTS to be your QA team, and if you don't, then the player base is gonna have to accept the responsibility of basically QA testing it on the live servers. At least that's what we've been doing, right? So
lately, that's exactly what we've been doing. But I mean, they have a very large population every Saturday now on the PTS with the server smashes. I mean, how many people did they have last week? 240 at one time?
Yeah, I think the guys that are doing the pickup stuff and the server smashes along with pickup stuff, or just generally all the events around the pickup people, are a great contributing factor to the community as a whole.
But that's my point.
For that exact reason.
That's my point. I don't think that they're allowing those people to test the items on PTS because they drop it on a Monday and then it goes live on a Thursday.
Maybe change their release scheduling. Is that what you're shooting for? Say drop it on a Friday, let them test it the weekend, and then doing something on Monday.
I don't know. I'm just trying. I think that they're introducing far too many bugs into the game. I'm not having fun playing the game because of the in-game issues. And I haven't said that in a long time.
So, Time Elude and Element both mentioned in the chat room. Time Elude says that a lot of, most of my outfit complains about not going on the PTS because of big downloads. There is a consistent download because it is a test build. You get a lot of that. Element says currently PTS is not being used for events. Is being used for events, but not really for testing. I mean, it's one and the same to a certain extent, right? They may not get a lot more bug reports because of the event, but at least people are playing on it to see, and maybe they will report in. There needs to be, you can follow behind those kind of events, maybe get some feedback from some of the players or outfit leads. They can trickle up some of the ideas or some of the feedback from their players, and maybe give feedback to us. We have a little powwow, after the events, maybe get some feedback that way. Mm-hmm. It's a thought, but I think if they're wanting to go that direction where most of the testing is in the community's hands, then they need to set up some sort of system for that. Whether that be, like you said, release on a Friday, test through the weekend, and get feedback on a Monday from a group of whatever outfit leads or someone else that has the feedback from their players. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I know it's not our job, but I like to think aloud on this, just because, like I said, I'm having difficulty bringing myself to log into the game when it's just not stable. I can go play a different game.
I think it's going to bite them in the ass to use the live servers for QA. And it's already biting them. It's already biting them in the ass. But
look at how it was originally. I like to think that we were on the forefront of pushing for a test server. You remember back in some of our early shows, we
test server or Jaeger?
No, test server, PTS.
Test server. Sorry.
When back in the early days of our show, we were pretty gung-ho about saying you need a test server, you need a test server. And then one was finally spun up. And I just don't know if it's being used. Well, I don't know. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff going on behind the scenes that I'm not privy to regarding the test server and what's being done. But again, especially this past week, the servers are just so unstable at this point that I'm having trouble logging into the game and playing.
I'm not a PM. I do organizational stuff where I work, but if it were me, for what it's worth, I would do a bi-weekly release schedule, and you would have a weekend to test and a full week for soak for players that didn't get a chance to test on the weekend with the larger numbers. And then you would have in that time to clean up everything for the release on the second week. I mean, that makes more sense to me. I know that as a company, they're dedicated to this weekly release, and I don't know what to say. It is what it is. If they continue to be dedicated to that, then we're going to continue inevitably to see things like we're seeing now, I think, unless they have some sort of drastic change to how they're going to do their development, which I don't know. I don't work for them, so.
I don't know either. All I know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I've been playing Diablo 3 all week instead, because every time I log into Planetside 2, I get a ping that's up the wazoo and hit detection issues. So, I don't know. And, let's completely turn this 360. I need to apologize to you, Adam, because Diablo 3 Reaper Souls is an amazing game. They did a complete 360 on that game. I'm having a blast in it.
Yeah, I'm glad they replaced Wilson. The new lead seems like he has some sort of soul, aka cares about, makes it more like D2.
I gave you shit last week for playing it, and now I know why you were playing it. So
no, it's a blast, dude. I was a D2 fanatic.
Oh, so was I.
And with the release of the original D3, I had my soul crushed.
You and me both. We played it together.
Yeah, I know.
And I was done at a week in.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't easy, dude. I remember I was like, I just felt so distraught when I started playing it. But it's getting there. It's getting back to its original, getting back closer to its soul successor. So it's hopefully they continue to push what they're doing now. And I would like to see ladders, but that's just because I'm maybe a little bit too much into it.
You're hardcore, I know.
I think it's just, it does cater to a certain group of people, and it's fun but once you get your maxed out in your items and you're able to slam through T6 in this case, which will be another month or so for me, but after that you're kind of limited to what you can do without ladders. I'm not going to have much in the way of content after that, and I really do want to play the game, but if there's not much to do and you've already beaten the max content, you need something else to do. So
I just like how I feel that I am a casual D3 player, yet I can pop in the game at any time now, get some decent gear, clear some stuff, and have a good time. And that's why I'm happy with the game right now. So
yeah, I really wish we could talk more about D3. I feel like I could go all night about D3, and we're barely halfway through the show. I really want to.
All right, let's move back on track then. I want to talk about the brand new Nvidia drivers. They released 337.50, and they're still causing the black screen error. Stay away from these fuckers like the plague.
Oh, Nvidia! If it's not SOE crashing their own shit, it's Nvidia dropping something on top of it to crash your shit. So, I don't even know what to say about this one.
Yeah. All right, now let's roll on and talk about the worst week of 2014 for Planetside 2. This was a post on Reddit showing the population drop-off after the double XP membership weekend was so staggering. They lost 30% of their player base within 1 week of the membership weekend dropping. So pretty much is a combination of all the bugs that were on PTS making it to live, server instabilities, and could also be coupled with all the Australian universities going back. But 30% drop in 1 week in the player base in Planetside 2, kind of crazy. It just kind of really hammers home what we were just talking about a few minutes ago.
I was about to say, I think this is just a follow-up to what we were already talking about. When the game is either A, unplayable, or B, buggy enough where it's irritating to play.
Mm-hmm.
I should detail that. By unplayable, I mean you can't log in, or it's the frame rate or lag to a certain point where you can't even react. And the other one being buggy enough where it just irritates you to the point you want to leave. Yeah, it's going to have an effect on the player base, right?
Mm.
So, what are you going to do? If we haven't repeated this how many times, I would really ask that they move off a weekly release schedule. But
I think bi-weekly is fine. Every other week, they just need to test stuff a little bit more, it seems. I don't know. Again, I feel like they're just rushing to get stuff out to keep people playing the game, and it's having the absolute opposite effect because they're just introducing so much instability.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's too bad because the double XP membership weekend was awesome. I saw so many people playing it. I played the hell out of it. They had some awesome sales going on. I rarely heard people complaining about it except for the upgrade issue. But other than that, there were so many people playing on that weekend, and it just seemed like they all disappeared after it was over. Well, I mean, the figures show 30% disappeared after it was over. And I mean, that's almost a third of your player base is just gone.
It's not good. There's a lot of ways you can approach, game content creation, and SWE approaches it one way and Blizzard approaches it 180 degrees differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using Blizzard as an example in this case, but you can I'm all for agile development and releasing content on a quicker pace. But there's problems with that same thing. And I agree, somebody made the comment earlier, some of the stuff has to be tested on live because that's the only place that you can load test,
mm-hmm.
is a term for it. And I have two arguments for that. One, in the IT industry, there is countless load testing utilities. Now, I don't claim to understand entirely how SOE does load testing, or if they even have a load testing utility in-house, especially considering that it may be nowhere near what their normal infrastructure for prod is like. But there's ways to do load testing outside of an actual prod environment, releasing straight to prod. I think making the argument that you have to release straight to prod that means you have poor dev tools basically at that point. But if you want to test, you want to use PTS for testing, and then you can't release early in 1 week, give people 2 days, 3 days to play on days that are not even good play days for most people, and then expect it to be tested. That's not good. This is not going to work. I mean, there's really no argument about it. And I think they're seeing the repercussions of releasing on a weekly basis now. We'll see what happens.
Yet they're still releasing on a weekly basis.
I would think that whoever made that call, this weekly release call, obviously somewhat in the upper management made that call because it's.
I think Higby said it was him.
Was it Higby?
I believe he's the one who said it was his decision to move to that.
Well, I would really say that maybe it's a better idea to move off that Higby, but I work in IT, but I don't know jack about how you guys do your development on your side, so it's take it with a grain of salt. but it seems like the results speak for themselves. Anyways, community question for the week. Yay. Last week, we asked, how many people do you know that have bought a membership due to the ads? Reddit was a hate it no all around. And Planetside Universe is one responsive yes, because they realized they should support a game like this. This proves my theory that the Reddit community, I don't need to say anymore. PS2 community was all no, and said they all canceled their subs as a result of it. Really interesting.
I can't believe how many people said that they literally canceled their subscription because of the ads.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised.
How much of that is true? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk a lot of shit, and maybe they did. You're speaking with your wallet. Good for you, I guess, in a way. But in the same way, I don't like it because it's not helping support the game. But this is coming from somebody that just bitched for the last 20 minutes about how they should change their release stuff and their development and all this stuff, not even knowing how really they do it in-house. So, backseat developer, backseat project manager. I just hope they can garner some more community support and they get some people to start grabbing some subs, because that's what's going to keep the game going long term. I mean, since they've switched a lot of their sub-based stuff to you have access to all games. I don't know how that works accounting side, but this is the only way they can really make their money, right? Sales of guns and stuff. But
speaking of all games, when does that launch again? That's this month, isn't it?
What's that?
Being able to play all games
launches later this month.
Isn't it like 14th or something like that? I don't know.
It's mid-month.
I'm totally talking out of my ass. I know it's this month.
I remember seeing mid-month of some point. I do have that memory, but past that, I don't remember that much.
One thing I remembered that is Planetside 1 goes free to play.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how many people are going to go back and check out Planetside 1.
I want to go back and check out Planetside 1 and see if they have sponsors signed still up. Like Coca-Cola and all that stuff.
Planetside 1 never had Coca-Cola sponsors.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I played the game and you did not.
I have a picture of it. If you want me to send it to you.
Please do.
Okay. On to the next thing. All right. Mailbag.
This week's community question, maybe?
And the OP. Didn't we already say it? No, I didn't say it.
You didn't say it.
Do you prefer fighting over a single or multi-point bases? I'm assuming this is a Tom question.
Yes, this is a Knock special who can't even make the show, but still manages to give us a community question.
Screw this question.
It's a good question.
Do you prefer fighting over a single or multi-point base? Yeah, it's a question for this week. If you prefer to send us hate mail about Nox instead, that's fine with me too.
Now you can do the good, bad, and OP.
Okay.
Have another drink on me, soldier.
Okay, thank you kindly.
If you can look hard enough past all the death and all the sorrow, there are good things. You must remember that we will overcome. The good, the bad, and the overpowered.
I'm ready.
Let's. I want to let people know what Nox wrote, because for Nox is good, he wrote ERF.
What does that even mean?
URF. I don't know what that means either. He wrote ERF. What does ERF? I mean, it's all caps, so it must stand for something. But what the heck does URF stand for?
I have to ask him that tomorrow to understand. I'm confused as well.
Blowing my mind what ERF means.
I'm sure he just accidentally typed on his keyboard. He probably didn't even mean to type that of it.
I don't know. And then he left his bad blank. But I'm sure didn't the Blues get smoked yesterday by Chicago?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, I know.
I really don't know. I don't care. I've yet to watch any sports games this year.
It was on NBC. I believe it was the game of the week. But
You'd
I do believe
better than I would.
I flipped past it, I think, and I think they were losing 3-1 with 15 minutes left in the third. So, I mean, that would probably be his bad. So, but I still want to know what ERF means.
I think his bad's probably the crabs he got from the hooker.
I'm sure that's not true.
I hope not. All right, what's your good and bad for the week?
All right, my good is Diablo 3. It's not Planetside 2. Because my bad is Planetside 2 related. It's this past week's patch. And again, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but this last patch was garbage and it made my gameplay like shit. So when it gets fixed with this week's patch, I'll come back to Planetside 2.
Fair enough.
I mean, I played last night because I like playing with the guys in Bax. But other than that, I really did not hop into Planetside too much this week. And it's because of hit detection and my ping up the wazoo. You know, what more can I say?
What was the quote I used last week for Bax? They're very tight on top of each other.
Yeah, tight on top of each other. They like that.
Something like that.
I don't think they got the joke, though.
I don't even remember what the joke was, to be honest, but
well,
I just remember seeing a tweet about it this week, and I was like, I don't even remember saying that.
Well, I was listening back to the show, and that's when I tweeted that out.
Oh, okay.
Saying Bax, they're tight on top of each other.
Tight on top of each other. Very tight-knit group on top of each other. All right. My good for the week, I have a bunch of them. I have a couple bads, too. One of my goods did an MLG interview this week for the War Report, the new War Report that kind of does highlights of Community Clash.
Did that air?
It aired Friday.
Friday.
Saturday, 7 p.m.
Okay, I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch that.
We got a chance to kind of talk about what Community Clash is all about, why we started it.
Did you mention me?
I did. Mentioned you and Knox by name, in fact. So why we started it, what it came from when we went down to MLG Dallas. I kind of mentioned that story. I think I mentioned you during that part. I could have sworn I did.
Great. Watch. I'm going to go watch it now, and I'm going to be like, he mentioned me, and then no.
I hope I did. I really hope I did. I was in a rush, so I really hope I remembered. We talked about kind of where it's going and what we've done with it and how it's kind of evolved from what we started with. So it was good. I'm looking forward to the second season, doing 16 teams, double elimination. It's going to be it's going to be a lot of work for us, but it's going to be more fun for the community, I think. Next good. So we met Louis. He's one of the outfit leads for the 40 Deuce. Tom Knox and I met him down at a bar in St. Louis. He's driving through, so we met him and hung out and played some pool, had some drinks, ate some really crappy boneless wings.
Got a couple hookers.
Yeah, and that's where Tom got the clap. So it's where I learned about the dozen thing too, because he just bought them outright by the 6-pack. The other good, I'm playing D3 with you this week.
I do appreciate you power leveling me.
It's easier, much easier now than it used to be. So it's a lot of fun. It's fun now. Having a good time with it. Messing around with new classes, playing with I'm looking forward to the Crusader buff tomorrow. So that should be good. Took my kid to go play laser tag. It was a lot of fun this week. Played some dodgeball and laser tag with him for his birthday. It was fun. And now we're going to book talk. This is bookcast time. So finished Blood Song by Anthony Ryan and Iron Druid Chronicles. And I can't remember the writer of it now. I finished the first book of the Iron Druid Chronicles this week. And finished Blood Song this week. And they're both great books. And I'm listening to the second Iron Druid Chronicles set book. And I think I'm going to move on to Terry Brooks next.
Oh, I hate Terry Brooks.
Do you?
Ugh.
Horrible?
Ugh.
Like the Schnar and stuff?
Ugh.
No good?
Ugh. You might like it.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I've never really got into the Schnarn series yet, so.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking the wrong guy. I might be thinking the wrong guy.
Who
wrote Wizard's First Rule?
I don't know. Don't know that title by name.
Hold on.
Terry Brooks does the whole.
It's Terry Goodkind. I can't stand Terry Goodkind.
Oh, okay. I see Terry Brooks. I thought Shannara, like the Shannara series, was supposed to be pretty, or acclaimed.
Oh, Time Loot's right. We do need a fancy intro for Bookcast.
We do need
some fancy music.
We do. You know what? I'm going to work on that this week. Time Elude. I think you have really good points. We'll get a bumper for Bookcast time.
Yes, Sock. He is the Sword of Truth guy, and I hate. Ugh. I tried to read. I went to Portugal in 1996 with my wife to meet her family, and I brought that book with me, Wizard's First Rule, and I threw it away during my layover in England.
That bad, huh?
Yes. And they turned the book into a TV show, Legend of the Seeker. Did you happen to catch that on TV?
I do remember that.
That's what the book was based on, or the show was based on that book.
How?
So
Durand actually makes a comment about the combo that screwed me too, because I play Crusader as well. He says my Fires of Heaven's Fate with a Fell combo. We're using the same combo, dude. The shotgun, they call it the shotgun build for the Crusader, and we're totally getting the shit nerfed out of us tomorrow. So I'm switching to Wizard. So that's totally off key. So keep going with your books. Like, I apologize. I just wanted to mention what I was talking about.
You were supposed to have read World War Z by today.
Shit. Let me put it on the list. I have a list a mile long of books I'm supposed to read. I got an email about it too this last week. Yeah, so World War Z, I'll check that out. I got another one that was a new series by what the F was that guy's name? The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. He has a 3-book series out.
Nothing by Fitch.
It's funny you say that. I thought the same thing as soon as I read the name. And then I finished the second book of the Orson Scott Card series, the Gate series, Lost Gate series. And the second book was really good, but the third one doesn't come out till like sometime next year. So I was kind of pissed about that. Anyways, my bad. Since we've had so much good, this is way too much good. Too much positive energy. We need to level this out. So the bad is Community Clash didn't go off this week because of that patch we were talking about. So we need to get back into bitching and angry stuff.
That's because the EU guys tried to play it, and a third of them crashed and couldn't get back in the game.
Yeah, so we pretty much had to call it. It was time to call it. And the other bad is while I was out playing with my son for his birthday, doing like dodgeball and laser tag and all that crap at the place we took him, I dislocated my shoulder again. It's been like a year since I did it last time, so I'm sitting here with pain meds again for the next couple days until my shoulder tendons stop aching, and then I'll spend another year and they'll dislocate it again probably. So it'll be fun.
You just need to practice more for dodgeball.
I guess. I seriously, it's like I was getting smoked by a bunch of 11-year-olds, and I tried to throw out my hand to like block one of them, and I like threw my shoulder out. The funniest part about the whole deal is I was laying on the ground trying to push it back in, and I got it back in. And for any of you guys out there to dislocate your shoulder a lot, this is from an old injury I had when I was in high school, a car accident. Anyways, you guys know, those of you who've had it happen before, the worst pain happens when it's going out and when it's going back in. When it's out, it feels really uncomfortable and weird, but it's not nearly as painful as when you push it back in. So I pushed it back in. I turned over on the dodgeball court, and I just got these tears streaming down my face, and I had just a real bad time trying to get it back in. And a kid walks over to the ref, and the ref's like, "You're right, man. You're right, man." It's like the guy that works there, and the kid walks over. He's like 11 years old. It's like, "I think he's out." Like walks away. I'm like, "What the F?" Look up at the kid. I'm like, "Man, all right." It was pretty funny if you just had to be there, I guess. But
I have a dislocation story.
Oh God! All right.
When you told me this the other day, I immediately thought of it and thought I'd save it for the show. So I was like 16, okay, and we were playing football in the park. And of course, when you're kids, it's full tackle. No pads, no nothing, no helmets, no nothing.
Yeah.
And one of my friends comes running down the field with the ball, and I step in front of him, and, make a good shoulder tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Except I couldn't get up afterwards because my shoulder hurt.
Oh, good.
And so I walked to the sidelines and I said to myself, I'm sure it's just a dislocated shoulder and I'll try and pop it back in. I had broken my scapula.
Oh, shh.
So I sat there and ground bone on bone for a moment.
Oh, man.
And then when I started to cry, they realized that we were done playing, and I had to go to the hospital.
Bitch. Oh, that's rough.
So my word of wisdom for all the young listeners out there is, if you hurt your shoulder and you think it might just be dislocated, it probably isn't, and you should just go see a doctor.
Yeah, you'll know if it's dislocated because you'll feel the ball joint outside of the tendons. It's very noticeable, like when it dislocates.
These are Derringer's words of wisdom.
Yeah, don't assume it's dislocated. If you had it happen a couple times, you understand. But if it's not, don't assume.
Yeah.
All right, Reachcast, that mailbag.
Oh, it's a perfect morning. Great timing, the mailman's just coming.
Morning. Here's the mail. Big bag. Later.
He must be in a hurry to get away. Very strange. What's the speaking sound? Going to take a look here in this bag of mail. Oh no!
Now you just open the Reachcast mailbag.
Alrighty, first call we have is from Ock, our T-shaped visor.
Hey guys, Ock here. I just had a question about the mission system, if you guys might be able to answer. Does the mission system take alerts into consideration? And I was also thinking that maybe the mission system could be used to fix pop imbalance during alert. Like if the NC's way over popped, then maybe the mission system could start pushing the Vanu towards the NC and the TR towards the NC, and maybe try to give an equal number and see how it works. And if one population does take over more, then it starts pushing the other two populations back towards it. Just an idea or thought. But talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.
Nice. Yeah, I actually messaged Malorn about this on Twitter. I didn't get a response, so I don't know what to tell you, man. But I think it's a good idea to use the mission system to handle population imbalances. Maybe to a certain extent. You have to kind of mess with it a little bit, but I think it's a good idea.
It doesn't currently, though, as far as I know.
I would assume no. Yes, correct. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure you're right. It would be nice to do it, though. Be a cool idea.
I could see them baking that into a later iteration of the mission system, but because I can already see, platoon leaders doing that themselves,
Reading the chat room, apparently Scourge had another rough week on his stream with Kudo. Apparently, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to bake it in later, like you said.
All right, move on to emails.
Mm-hmm.
That was our only call this week, right? Okay.
Yes.
First email is from JRAM117. I don't know what JRAM is, but hey, Reachcast, the name's JRAM117 from NC Watterson. I have listened to the show since November of last year. The podcast I just listened to was the Ramblecast one. I do think that the BR system encourages me to level up. Plus, there is a race in our outfit to the first one to BR 100. I'm nowhere close because I'm BR 43. I would be BR 60 if I didn't take the 3-month-long break from the game at the beginning of the year. Also, the Valkyrie is coming out, and I am stoked for it. I am saving my certs. I don't use station cash. I am one of the primary flyers in my outfit, but I don't get to fly the Gal as much because my outfit leader does that, and I want to be the first one in my outfit to fully kit out my Valkyrie. Oh, and one more. I am doing this email on the April Fool's Day patch. They changed profane words to stuff from the game. And if you type in the squad chat or outfit chat bitch, it will show up as ReachCat. So blame T-Ray for that, I guess. Anyway, love the show. Can't wait for the Valkyrie. Excellent.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
I'm kind of excited for the Valkyrie too, but it's not a Thresher.
Yes, I agree. I'm looking forward to it though.
I am up to 7,500 certs right now.
Jeez.
Saving those for the Thresher.
Good luck.
That may never come. Because I expect when the Thresher drops to fully kit it out.
I would hope so. Jeez.
So.
All right, the next email I have is from Sunny. So hi, Reachcast. We, Sunny, and how do you pronounce that? Galasine?
Maybe. Your guess is as good as mine.
We, Sunny and Galasine, are currently running a lore writing competition. Lore writing competition for Planetside 2 community. The Araxis Literary Awards. I like that. We thought that you and your listeners may be interested in hearing about it. Yeah, we used to do a lot of battle stories in the battlefield. We haven't done one for a while, but we'd love to get more of them. Authors can submit entries for anything lore related. They could be about historical events or battles, the backstory behind any base, weapon, outfit, vehicle, or faction. As long as it adds depth to the PS2 lore, we would want to read it. In May, the PS2 community will vote for their favorite story, and we have a 2,000 station cash prize for the best entry in each category. We are accepting entries now until the 30th of April, and community voting will take place from 1st to 14th of May. Rules and guidelines can be found on the competition website, and we will link that in the show notes, but it's lorecompetition.talesfromaraxis.com. And then and the press release announcement that we made for the competition a couple of days ago is here, and they sent out a link for that as well. Thanks a lot for your help, and keep the good work and show Community Clash, etc. Thanks, man. I'll throw in a set of dog tags for the winner of each category. I don't know how many categories you have. I'll have to take a look at your site again.
Yeah, you might want to think about that.
100 categories might be a problem, but if you have as a handful, I'd be willing to throw in some prizes as well for that. We, as a show, would be. So yeah, that sounds good. You guys should check it out. I know it's like a niche portion of the community, but check it out if you like to do lore stuff.
We had a number of people writing stories for us a while back, so I imagine there's a few listeners out there that might be interested. And we read a few great stories, so there were some good stories out there. Quattro, I'm talking to you.
I think this picture that they're linking is going to use for the show.
Yeah, I'm not even going anywhere near that. All right. Our final email is from Hack Knows. That's his name. He says, it's a free-to-play game, and I'm frankly surprised it's taken this long for the push advertising to get more aggressive. However, I must say that the upgrade now things in the game aren't hurting anybody. Honestly, if this is what makes people quit the game, they already made up their minds. They were just looking for an excuse. However, this is the only free-to-play game I've ever played that I considered subscribing to. Now, I was considering subscribing, given how much the focus seemed to be on the game and not on selling. It was just really classy, I'm having second thoughts now simply because I don't want to encourage this kind of marketing. I want to subscribe, but doing it right now in the middle of all this only validates what they've done. I kind of agree with what he's saying, and I think if that's how you feel, then you need to take a stand on your principles and wait to subscribe for a little while.
I think catering to the better human nature is not going to get you anywhere in this world.
Well, this is why his name is Heck Knows.
I think if all of us did what was best, we didn't follow human nature for most of the time, or destructive human nature, we wouldn't, this wouldn't be a problem. But
you need to live like the Jedi and follow your conscience.
I wish. Welcome to the internet, bro. Quite opposite of Jedis in every way, facet.
So it's like the Sith?
Yeah, basically the internet is the Sith. It's filled
especially Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit is the Sith. That is where the Sith gain their power. All right.
I can just see the Reddit shooting lightning bolts right now.
Lightning bolts out from that little figurine they have. That's their figure for everything. Just dark eyes. Yeah. All right. Thank you for everybody in the chat room. I wonder, we haven't done this in a while. I'm going to read out the chat room real quick.
Knock yourself out.
Arctorn, Chaos Gauge, C. Salip. I don't even know, dude. Dire Curzon, Dr. Joski, Durand, Flaggerpuss, Killer Kiwi, Rack Habit, Snask, Talk But No Walk, 124, Timelude, and Tendo 10, and Westy 543.
Did you get
and T-shaped visor, of course, yeah.
Of course.
Caesar.
Like he's always here and has nothing better to do.
No, of course I got him. Caesar Salad is apparently how I pronounce his name, so good game. Caesar Salad. I love Caesar salads. I like Iceberg Wedge. It's personally my favorite, but Caesar's my quick second, so that's good.
You know, I do like a good Caesar salad prepared at the table when they make the dressing fresh with the egg and everything.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good game.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah. Contact him for the show. Our website is at reachcash or at reachcashshow.com. Email us at reachcash. Why do I keep saying at? I feel like everything should be on Twitter.
No, you're right. Email us at reachcashshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, email us at reachcashshow@gmail.com. You can email us calls if you don't want to just call them in the phone line. But the phone line is, if you just want to call it, 415-787-3224. That's 415-787-3224. Next time Scourge gets drunk with Kudo, just put it in the chat room all over the place for him to call. Because I can't wait to hear that. Twitch. Twitch.tv/Reachcast. That should be good. Anyway, show Twitter at Reachcast Show. I am at Tom is a hooker.
I am at the Derringer. Working
always,
hard to get Derringer.
This Derringer?
Yeah, there's
buy it off somebody.
There's some chick who's been squatting on it forever. I may have a relative who works for Twitter. I may grease a palm.
Or two.
Or
four.
3.
All right. Yeah,
So,
Derringer would be good.
I would love to get the name Derringer back. Well, I never had it in the first place, but
you rightfully deserve it.
I do rightfully deserve it. It is mine. I am Derringer everywhere.
By my birthright. This
it is by
Twitter
my
account
birthright.
is mine.
I've been using the handle Derringer since 1989.
I think that when you're born, you should have the right on your birth certificate to claim Twitter.
It's funny you say that. I'm seriously considering talking to my daughter about that, working on her online persona.
It's not a bad idea, but
she's 14, so she needs a Twitter handle, an email, an online name. I mean, right?
Caesar Salad. Apparently, your up and coming hopeful purchase of the Derringer Twitter is
it's been hacked. That was hacked.
Oh, okay.
Because if you'll note, she's actually posted back in 2009 saying that she was at Cage the Elephant Show, and then she's never tweeted since then. All those ones in 2012, it's obviously a hack job.
This obviously teaches you that if you go to Cage the Elephant, you'll die. So don't do it. Don't.
So yeah, otherwise she'd just been spamming Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez sex tape.
That's good. That's the one I'd want to take over to if I had to pick a Twitter account.
Yes, I've emailed this person multiple times saying, "Can I have the account?" But I'm going to take it the next step.
That's right. You take it away from her. Cage the Elephant already killed her. You just take her account.
I do believe it is my birthright. But like I said, I am thinking of actually sitting down with my daughter and helping her craft her online persona, because at what time do kids really need to start thinking about something like that?
What's the Facebook law? It's like
13. At 13,
is it 13?
Kids can have. She doesn't want a Facebook account though. Facebook is dying. Just get out now. Kids don't give two shits about it because their parents are on it.
Yep.
So there will be no Facebook after a while.
Maybe
even though they purchased Oculus Rift, but who cares?
Gosh. Maybe she fell in the cage with the elephant. Got trampled.
I don't know. Let's end this. Let's just get to the end of this. We're turning into random.
I'm very there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Thank you, crew. That's it for the show. Goodbye. Cage the Elephant will kill you.
Good night, everybody.
That's right, Sergeant. You make the call. All right, soldiers. You've done a great job here today. Let's get our stuff and get the hell out of here.